Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tips. Julian here for another Drops episode, this one for week 22 of the fantasy hockey season. Now at this point, it's going to be really difficult to make decisions on whether you're going to be dropping a player or not. But there are some players that you may have to make that difficult decision with. Let's jump into the video now, guys, and let's start with some forwards that you may have to consider dropping. And first on the list is Matt Duchene. And no, I'm not dropping Matt Duchene in any leagues other than an 8-man league because he's been ice cold and his peripherals have not been very good. And honestly, we're going into the fantasy playoffs soon. I have Duchene in an 8-man league, and if he doesn't start to produce, it's going to be really hard to justify holding him for the fantasy playoffs. I may still hold him for the fantasy playoffs though, since they do have a nice off night schedule for the first week of the fantasy playoffs. But man, do I ever hope that he turns it around. If not, he's definitely being dropped from my team before the second round of the playoffs, if I do make it that far. And Elias Lindholm of the Vancouver Canucks, if he's not traded once again, he's playing third line right now in Vancouver and isn't doing particularly well. He's been scoreless for like 7 games straight now. Definitely not someone I love, and he's locked in as a natural center, so it's not like his position is all that valuable. Pavel Zacha of the Boston Bruins is top line center right now, but has been underwhelming all season. And if Boston trades for a top line center like Elias Lindholm, Zacha is going to be even less valuable, and it's not someone I love right now. Then Ryan Hartman of the Minnesota Wild is someone that I'm definitely dropping right now because the Minnesota Wild don't have a particularly good playoff schedule. The first week they play 3 games, all on the busy nights, and the second week they only play 2 games, which is not really that good, and there's definitely better options than Hartman on the waiver wire that play more games. Sean Couturier is playing on the 4th line right now in Philadelphia, so he's a drop for me right now. Now, if Scott Laughton is traded and then Couturier gets promoted back to the top line and top power play, then I would consider adding him again, but as of right now, he's very useless. On defense, Brent Burns is the first guy I have as a drop. I know he's 91% rostered, but he's been terrible this year. And yeah, he's going to continue to get top power play time, but it's not like that's done anything for him this year. Honestly, guys, if you have to, I'm definitely cutting Brent Burns. He's a free agent in my 8-man league, and no one's even considering picking him up. Aaron Ekblad's the next guy I would consider dropping. He's been underwhelming, but I didn't expect much from him this year anyway without the top power play time, so he's not someone that you need to be holding. Luke Hughes is the same thing. He's been picking it up a little bit lately, putting up some points, but his peripherals going along with it are not very good, so still his floor is not really that good. Brock Faber of the Minnesota Wild is another guy who I'd consider dropping once again for that bad Minnesota schedule. They play 3 games on busy nights on the first week of the playoffs, and the second week of the playoffs they only play 2 games. And Brock Faber has been absolutely invisible and has been doing absolutely nothing. So if he doesn't turn it around in the next couple games, he's a drop. Jacob Slavin of the Carolina Hurricanes at 32% rostered is the next guy I would drop, and he's been on my list quite a few times this year, guys, and Jacob Slavin just doesn't deserve to be owned in fantasy right now. He's not doing enough to merit that. And finally, guys, for goalies, Joey Daccord is becoming a drop. Now, obviously, if there's no goalies available in your league and it's a super deep league, you got to hold on to Daccord and hope and pray that Grubauer loses the crease and that Daccord takes it back. He played very, very well the other night and earned himself a win, so maybe he can earn the crease back. Darcy Kemper is another guy who I'm not dropping right now if I absolutely don't have to, but if Lindgren keeps getting the starts, it's going to be hard to own Darcy Kemper in the fantasy playoffs, even if his team has a lot of off nights. Now, Darcy Kemper is starting tonight that I'm recording this, so if he performs well, he may start to earn a little bit more starts and maybe can get half of those capital starts in the playoffs. Jonathan Quick is another guy you can consider dropping. There's 3 stars next to him because he's going to be getting 2 starts this week, the week that the Rangers play 5 games. And if you're trying to get into the playoffs, 2 starts from Jonathan Quick is definitely not bad at all, and definitely you could get 2 wins out of Jonathan Quick. But after that, the Rangers in the playoffs, they play 3 games on the 3 busy nights, and I don't even think Quick's going to start a single one of those games, so definitely is droppable after this week. And then David Riddick is 21% rostered, but Talbot has definitely taken back the crease there in LA, so Riddick is definitely an easy drop. And Semyon Varlamov, I mean, Sorokin started a whole bunch of games in a row. He's playing decently well, so Varlamov doesn't need to be owned in fantasy right now. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the content today, drop a like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.